All right. Hello, children. Uncle Todd here. Today we are talking about leverage, arm wrestling leverage. Other than the buckle is a disadvantage, one of the more persistent myths out there or beliefs is that longer arms are an advantage in arm wrestling due to leverage. So let's go to Uncle Todd's Arm Wrestling Playhouse and we will just explore that a little bit. And to do that, oh man, I meant to do this differently. We are going to look at Ron Bath of the USA versus Yoshi Kanai of Japan. This is an Arm Wars, and it is on the Arm Wars archive. 37.8 thousand subscribers. So this is the video we're looking. I want to make sure that y'all know it's not my footage and give these guys some love. Go over here and get this 85,000 views over 6 years. Let's get that up by dozens of all you folks watching today. All right, so to set the, I got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, to set the table, we have Ron Bath from America. He's generally guarded as being 6'4", based on the intro to the arm wrestling matches I've seen on YouTube. Yoshi Kanai is listed as either being 5'8" or 5'10". So it's not that important for what we're doing, but we will consider him 5'9". We'll just cut it in the difference. So Ron's about 8 to 9% taller than Yoshi. And they had a match. This is a good match to watch, even if you're not interested in leverage or the science of it all. So we're going to zip forward so we don't have to go to blah, 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 blah. We'll pop in right here. No, we won't. We'll pop in, okay. They're setting it up. And let's see if we can, when we get a side view here. Right off the bat, what we expect is boom. Okay. Well, they're setting up. You can't see it yet. Ron Bath's elbow is kind of in the middle of the pad. Yoshi's up near the front. You would expect that on a long arm versus short arm match. And they're setting up, and Yoshi's setting up very vertical, or the low grip, and Ron attacked the hand, hit a top roll to the side, attacked the hand, took the hand, slipped. Not really sure what Yoshi was doing, except I seen this video, so I'm assuming Yoshi's trying to get inside. So very hard to do that with your arm very vertical, and Yoshi is getting like a very low grip on a guy who's posting high knuckles. Very hard to get inside, but you know Yoshi wants it. Now Yoshi's at the complete front of his pad. Ron's still in the back. Ron attacks the hand, takes the hand, pulls Yoshi across the peg line. Let's just go back a second, okay? Ron attacks the hand, takes it, okay? We expect that. Ron's moving towards the back of the pad. Whoops, sorry about that. Ron's moving towards the back of the pad here. Yoshi's at the very front of the pad. That's because Ron's arm's long and he's got a lot of reach. Ron attacked the hand, rolled Yoshi palm up right off the bat. Not a good place to be, no matter what kind of a bad SOB you are. And Ron attacks the hand. He has got, let's see, the peg is here, the other peg's right there. Yoshi has reached across the peg line onto Ron's side. Ron's at the very back of the pad with the longer arm. Yoshi's at the near front of the pad. And Ron takes him down. I think that pin was called late, but I do like it when they wait until the pin is very definitive. That is not too surprising. And that leads to the belief that long arms are an advantage, just for that reason. Ron gets all kinds of height. So we'll go to round 2. They switch sides, and Yoshi now is gripping a little higher. He realized that you can't grip low on somebody who's already commanding the high ground. And Ron is still a little bit higher than Yoshi. Yoshi's arm is still fairly vertical, but it looks like he pulled his elbow back just a little, which forces Ron's arm to be a little bit more open. They go, Ron attacks the hand again. I guess I missed the point where they slip. Just so you know, every single round without the strap, Ron attacks the hand, they slip. So he takes the hand, he attacks the hand, he takes the hand, doesn't hold on. Look at how little coverage on Ron's hand Yoshi has. Yoshi's fingers don't even come up to Ron's knuckle. Yoshi's fingers stop way down here, okay? That's a bad distance. Even though he capped, he's got like nothing. Ron's just got such a superior hand positioning on here. Anyways, rolls him over, and dun da da da, Yoshi learned something. Look at this. Yoshi relocated to the very back of his pad. He was at the front of the pad on round one. Now he's at the back. What's significant is here's the peg and there's the peg. So if you draw a line between these two pegs, Yoshi's either on the peg line. I believe he's actually on Yoshi's side of the peg line. Ron's reaching across the table to try and finish Yoshi, okay? So Ron is not quite at the back of the pad. He's moving forward. Yoshi's like, he's not even at the back of the pad. He's in the pad's backyard, okay? And they go, and you see what, I'm not gonna point it out, but try and figure out what you think Yoshi's doing. It'll become more apparent later. So they go. Ron is desperate to try to get it. Yoshi's putting all kinds of up pressure on him. Yoshi's still palm up. He moved a little bit further to the back. He's almost into the pad's neighbor's yard at this point. Ron's now, look at this. Ron is now way at the front of his pad. But he's still got hand control. Ron drags back. Yoshi tries to get that shoulder in. Oh, I wasn't going to tell you that. So they're battling. Yoshi gets the match back to center. From a losing position, palm up, Yoshi dug his arm out of what would be a life sentence for most other people, an actual fatal move. Yoshi digs it back out. He's got his hand still in good. Ron's fingers are all crinkled up because he was surging. Ron doesn't have quite the hand control as he did before. And Yoshi gets his wrist curled in. Yoshi's looking pretty comfortable. Yoshi's still at the back of his pad. They're on Yoshi's side of the peg line, which is very important. Ron, again, attacks the hand, but he doesn't have the position. He's still quite up in the center. Ron regrips, trying to get that hand. Yoshi moves to the side. Yoshi, look at that. Yoshi's got almost no purchase on his hand. Yoshi's hand's bent back, goes into a press. Now Yoshi's at the front of his hand, and what a mess. This is why I'm telling you, man, these refs do not put the straps on tight, and then this crap happens. They should just tighten the darn strap, refs. What the hell? All right, restart again. I'm not even sure. We're not in there. Ron attacks the hand, takes the hand. Yoshi moves to the back of the pad again. Ron stays at the back of the pad, but I believe they're still on Yoshi's side of the peg line, which is where Yoshi needs to be. Yoshi's hand is back, but he's keeping it. Ron is really surging sideways. Ron is actually trying to top roll and pin Yoshi on the peg line. He's got hand power, he's got hand condition. Yoshi's not even trying to stay on the pad anymore, okay? So I think that was second foul for Yoshi. So Ron won the first two rounds, all right? Attacks the hand, takes the hand, gets in the straps. Once in the straps, attacks the hand again, gets the hand. Yoshi, from round one, moved from the front of the pad to round two, goes in the back of the pad. Ron's up 2-0. And it looks like they're gonna pull 6 times. So, Ron's looking pretty dominant. He knows he's got the hand. They switch sides. Yoshi's still getting very, very vertical. Yoshi's trying to grip even higher now. He's definitely capping, which to get fair, they got Ron's knuckle down just a little bit. So the knuckles are about even. I'm gonna stop this. Oh, okay, I didn't. It don't matter. Oh, they slip. That happens all the time. Ron attacks the hand, can't hold on. And I'm not sure why Ron can't hold on to Yoshi. It might be just really thick. But once again, Yoshi's getting a little bit more purchase on Ron, but not much. There's Ron's knuckle, and his fingers are way up here. So Yoshi's got pretty good purchase, very low on Ron's hand. Yoshi's at the very, very front of his pad. Ron's trying to get to the front of his pad, but because of the arm length discrepancy, Ron's gonna have to move his elbow back a little bit. They're both standing very upright, and let me guess, Ron attacks the hand, like top rollers do. Boom, he attacks the hand and takes it, but Yoshi hits some back pressure. There's the peg. Yoshi's got his hand. I believe Yoshi's hand is on Yoshi's side of the peg line, and he stopped the match a little bit higher. He's still palm up, which is bad for everybody except this one particular dude, but he stops Ron. Ron's fully committed, got his body completely into that top roll. Yoshi's still vertical, straight up and down. Yoshi's actually more closed, hand to shoulder, than Ron is, all right? Ron figures he's gonna get that hand and power Yoshi over, so I think he's getting desperate for the pin. And Yoshi pushed that shoulder in and got some more height. Did you see what he did there? Let's see if I can just rewind this a second. Watch what Yoshi does with his shoulder. Very, very clever, this Japanese guy. Very clever. It's probably why they build all those electronics and sweet cars. He comes in there, Yoshi stops it, boom, pushes that shoulder forward, gets some more height, drags his arm back. He's back fighting on his side of the peg line now. They are definitely on Yoshi's side of the pegs. And Ron is surging, trying to desperately to get that pin on the peg line. He's having a lot more trouble this time. And look, Ron's almost off the front of the pad. Yoshi's at the back of the pad, trying to get that shoulder in. Somebody got a foul, and Yoshi got pinned, but I think they called the foul on Ron. Just so you know, whenever I watch arm wrestling videos to prep for my own matches like this one, I never have the sound on, because I don't really care what the refs say or who got fouls what. I want to know what the arm wrestlers are doing and where they're strong. And what we are seeing right now is Ron's going to take the hand every single time, and if you drag Yoshi to the opposite side of the pegs, he's kind of vulnerable. If Yoshi's on the peg line, or better yet, if Yoshi's on the Yoshi side of the peg line, he's pretty tough. If he's very tough, he's on his side of the peg line, and then he pulls his elbow off the back of the pad. And he did that for a long time without getting called. That was pretty impressive. Travis would be going, man, that's beautiful. All right, they go again. Ron attacks the hand, takes the hand. Yoshi gets to the back of his pad, generates some height, gets into a hook, actually turned Ron's top roll into a hook, pulled the long arm guy off the front of the pad, okay? Very informative there. Okay, we don't care what's going on. He says he tried less back pressure. Well, he generated a whole lot more back motion because he was at the back of the pad, not at the front. I do not know what advice Ron is getting here, because he should have been getting, dude, stretch that little arm out. But Ron keeps trying to pin Yoshi on Yoshi's side of the pegs. So now, it was 2-0, it's now 2-1. So Yoshi was probing the ice, found a thin spot, and I think he's about ready to break through. He found the window Ron left open in his house. He's about to go into that house and take all the goodies out of it. So these two guys are really friendly to each other. It's just so cool to watch. It's just so cool to watch two experienced arm wrestlers with respect for each other. And I should have mentioned this at the front end. These are two world-class arm wrestlers. I know Yoshi's a multiple world champion. I believe Ron is too. They're in the same weight class. I forgot what they weighed here. I think they're in the 230 class or less. I'm not really sure. I don't care. So their strength levels are comparable, but their strength areas are different. So anyways, we now see that Yoshi's making some adjustments, all right? He's definitely gripping higher. He's not trying that low grip stuff to try to throw a posting top roller into a hook. He's gripping higher to try to stop Ron's hand attack. He's not stopping it, but he's slowing Ron down at a higher position, more near the 10 o'clock position. Let's see, they're not in the straps. I can predict. Ron attacks the hand, they slip, they go into the straps. This is so boring. I should have sped through this. Boom, Ron attacks the hand, he can't hold on, he slip, they go into the strap match. Strap match. It's funny how everybody calls it straps, and it's really strap. All right, look at that. Ron is now under his thumb, okay? He crinkled his fingers up. Ron's fingers, look how crinkled. Ron's fingers could come all the way around past Yoshi's knuckle, but he's closing them up just to generate more height. He's really attacking that hand. Yoshi, look how far Yoshi has to lean forward. Yoshi's elbow is closed up a lot. He has to lean really forward. Ron's shoulders are fair. Yoshi is, he's fair. Rubbin's racing if you don't get caught. Boom. All right. Yoshi wants that shoulder in. So he stops, gets to the back of his pad, gets Ron on Yoshi's side of the pegs. All right. Gets that shoulder in. Yoshi's carrying a lot of weight on that shoulder. Makes a surge with the shoulder. Gets a foul because he's in the backyard of his pad. Powers him over though. Yes, he fouled, but he's got lower hand position, turns it into a press and presses him down. Of course, I'm rooting for Ron here, but without that foul, that just shows you the absolute power and skill Yoshi has to get his hand completely obliterated, pull Ron across the pegs with his hand bent back, dig that shoulder in, and pop. So now Yoshi knows what he needs to do, right? Yoshi and Ron each have a recipe for winning, and they're each going to do the exact same thing, only harder. Ron crinkles up his fingers. Yoshi stops high, lets the wrist go just a little bit, moves to the back of the pad, waits Ron out a little bit. He must have felt like a lull in the power. Gets that shoulder in. Ron's back up. Ron's leaning way backwards. Yoshi's leaning way forward, trying for that press again because it worked once, and it's getting close. Oh. He gave it to him. Okay, that one worked. Yoshi is a monster if you get him to pull tight. So who's ever in Ron's corner should be saying something like, hey, Ron, you know if that Japanese guy's got his arm closed up, he's pretty strong. In the first round, you pulled him across the table. You had him perpendicular to the table, not parallel, and you did pretty good. Look at all these people giving him advice. Let's hope they're giving him the advice that wins. Where are we at now? Ron was up 2-0. Now was it 2-2? That's a disadvantage of turning the sound off. I believe that's the case. I usually would fast forward through all this, but I'm hoping to see the scoreboard so I can see what's happening. We'll just let this roll for a little bit. They're going to replay. Oh, no, they're setting it up. There's no straps. Maybe they didn't call it. Maybe it was fouls or something. There's no, they switched sides. Ron attacks the hand. Let's go. Yoshi's not even trying anymore. They ought to just, go right to the straps. All right, Ron's getting a little bit higher now. I don't know what his corner told him, but he's getting higher. Yoshi's still at the very front of his pad like he has to. Yoshi's a little bit low. I think Yoshi's actually got less hand purchase than he has in the earlier matches because he knows he's got to just get that wrist up high. Look at that. Ron opens up a big old gap in that grip. But Yoshi stops him high, stops him at neutral, gets his shoulder in. Now they're back on Yoshi's side of the peg. Ron's desperately trying to hit that top roll. He's got to open his arm completely up, and he does. He gets some back pressure, drags Yoshi across the pegs. Okay, Yoshi's having trouble finishing the deal here, but he's got Yoshi across the peg. And Ron had some back pressure, right? At the very end, he couldn't hold it. He leaned forward just a little bit at that last second. And as soon as he came forward to where Yoshi got him on his side of the pegs, let's see if it just a little bit back. Boom. Yeah, Ron's doing better going backwards, and he comes forward. No, okay, here he goes. He's got back pressure, 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 right, back. And Ron opened up, leaned forward to try to get his hand back, and Yoshi pushed him down. You cannot let Yoshi get on his side of the peg line. As soon as Yoshi gets on his side of the peg line, he just tends to win. Look at that. Ron's got all kinds of hand control. Those long arms he's having a hard time staying closed. And they surge it. He leans forward and Yoshi presses him down. So now I need to, okay. It is 2, 2, 3. So how many matches we got left here? Looks like we got one good one. Okay, so 2 to 3. Yeah, there's only one match left. Ron needs one more match to tie it up. So Yoshi went from 0-2 to 2-3. So they blah, 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 blah. They jump in, there's no straps. Let's see, Ron attacks the hand, they slip, they go into a strap match. Strap match. Okay, they're putting the straps on. Ron is doing, nobody's really changed anything. Yoshi loves what he's doing. Ron's not really changed anything, and Ron just lost 3 matches in a row. But he is standing a little bit more upright now. Ron's actually crowding the center more than Yoshi is. He's probably going to try to fire back and generate all kinds of height. So they go, tack sideways, crosses the peg line again. Yoshi's at the very back of his pad. Ron's at the very front of his pad. And let's see, Yoshi gets that shoulder in. Look at that, generates it all the way back up. This turns him into a hook. Gosh, Yoshi's amazing. And now they're in a hook. And Ron's got a very, very good hook. He just shouldn't be in one at this point of the game. Yoshi's got way over Ron's vertical. Yoshi's digging in that hook. And boom. Foul. Of course it's a foul. So we're going to, what are we going to do? Let's see. This is a good time. We're almost done. Okay. We're going to stop here. And we're going to do something a little different for the time being. So bear with me, kiddies. Kiddos. Let me put the magic blue bucket up. Let me put the whiteboard of knowledge up. And let me readjust the camera to where we can see the whiteboard of knowledge. So here's a few things we got to talk about. Right off the bat, long arms versus leverage. Okay. Elbow pad, table. Let's start with our long-armed arm wrestler, okay? He's sitting down here. His arm, let's make him a little taller than this. Come on, Todd, where'd you learn to draw? Let's put his face up here. There we go. This is our long-armed guy, okay? His arm down to the pad, up. Here's his arm wrestling hand. Long-armed guy. Okay, a short-armed arm wrestler, let's put him here. He's got to lean forward because he's shorter, boom. He's also happy. And there's his body. So in order for him to, his arm comes down, and let's put his arm at the same angle, but he's got a short arm, right? Because he's a short-armed guy. The one advantage of having a longer arm is at this same angle theta, okay, if this is the pin pad, okay, at the same angle theta, short-armed guy is parallel pinned. Long-armed guy has this much room at the same forearm angle. At this point, if long-arm guy could lean forward, he could close this elbow up. But his elbow tend to be open more. But reach is an advantage reach. Not reacher, reach. Reach is an advantage to the long-armed arm wrestler. Oh God, I should have been more prepared for this. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about something else. Okay. Elbow pad. Elbow pad. Hold on a second. Let's keep this family friendly. All right. This is the center line. Long arm. short arm. His groups are right there. He comes down. He comes down. Okay, ooh, he's ugly that time, okay? So, long arm wrestler versus short arm wrestler. Now, let's just get a little coordinate system here. So, this will be the pad to pad line. Peg to peg line is along the axis, and then that's kitty corner. If these guys are both applying 100 pounds of side pressure. Oops. Let me make sure we're not completely unprofessional here. I think you guys can see that. All right. If they're both applying 100 arms of side pressure, okay, remember, Ron was about 6'4", Yoshi was about 5'9". So that, if you convert it to centimeters or inches, that is a delta of about 9%. So if this is L, this is 1.09 times L, okay? So let me just do some math here. If I go 10%, let's change this to 10% so the math is easier, okay? For that point of this. So we'll make this, boom. So if L is 12 inches, just to put some value to it, which ain't so bad. If that's 12 inches, this elbow has a torque on it, do that 100 pounds, of 100 times 12 equals 1,200 inch pounds. Over here, it's 10% stronger, so it's 12, it's 13.2 inches. Okay, torque. Here, torque equals 100 times 13.2, or 1,320 inch pounds of torque on here. Okay, same goes for back pressure, whether it's side pressure or if they're both applying back pressure of 100 pounds. This elbow, long arms elbow, has to have more torque applied to it for the exact same force. Okay, so short arm has an advantage of elbow torque. Okay, now the other things that are that we'll just put in here just to talk about, and you'll see them if you in that match a little bit carefully, is so we already gave long arm reach. Gee, Uncle Todd, a little preparation would go a long way. I'm sorry, kids. The other thing that happens is longer arms tend to be attached to larger hands. And as we saw, when they went around, short arm Yoshi was only gripping Ron like right there around his knuckles. Conversely, Ron was able to get a big full-arm purchase on Yoshi's hand, okay? Yoshi could only grab Ron right about here, like behind that knuckle line. Ron's fingers went way past it. So, reach. This is reach for the arm. They also have an advantage on reach for the fingers. This one results in, I'll also give them the height. Well, that longer reach raises their hand up when they're not getting pinned. So that's what that longer reach does. So we'll just give him those two advantages. Elbow torque. So you got to know how to apply. Leverage is what we calculated with the torque, force times distance. So this is actually, the shorter arm actually has the leverage advantage. Okay, enough with that. High school math commercial. Let's get back to the show. Take me to the show. All right, what do we got going here? Oh, good. All right, so not exactly sure what the score is anymore but where's my keyboard? Here we go. And boom. Evidently I gotta use the mouse. Sorry. Boom. So Yoshi wants to be inside bad. Stops Ron. Ooh, he's got him actually in the hook. Look at this. Ron is right on the peg line. But you notice something different? Ron's got him on the peg line. He's not opened up anymore. He's got Yoshi not at the back of his pad, in the center of his pad, and Ron is putting his shoulder into the match, holding Yoshi's hand down low enough to where he can't get that shoulder in. Watch this. He's blocking Yoshi from getting his shoulder in. Yoshi's hands curled up, so he can't get that wrist higher. Before, Yoshi was letting his hand open up and pushing up. Now Ron's got him hooked in, and he's got that wrist down. And even though he's right on the peg line, he's keeping Yoshi from getting that shoulder in there. Now Ron's coming off the front of the pad. Yoshi got to the back of the pad. And Ron's pulling him down, tries to top roll him. Got it. Okay, so now we got to see where we're at. Now we need a score. So Ron didn't apply back pressure like I would have been coaching him, but he did. Oh, he did there. Do you see that? He pulled Yoshi. He was having trouble pinning Yoshi, and when he couldn't pin him, watch what he does. He drags Yoshi to the front of Yoshi's pad, opened up that arm, and now Yoshi went down. Okay, so here's just a few lessons. Ended up being 3-3. So, lesson 1, Yoshi is an absolute monster on his peg line. And he's vulnerable if you pull Yoshi, if you force Yoshi. I don't want to see this, what's going on. I want to go back to the other video. Let's get a picture of these guys. Yoshi's a monster if you get him on the peg line. Let's get something. We'll stop right there. Well, Yoshi's a monster if you get him on the peg line. When Ron pulled him across the table, let Yoshi arm wrestle more, or force Yoshi to arm wrestle more perpendicular to the table, Ron had a lot more success. Okay, if Yoshi's on his peg line and he's arm wrestling more parallel to the table, he's able to get that shoulder in. And a couple of times he actually pressed Ron over from losing. Ron's in a winning top row position, and Yoshi pushed him over with the press just by getting that shoulder in. So there's more than one way to skin that cat. Ron prevented Yoshi from getting that shoulder in at that last match, and he actually won it that way. I have no idea if this camera is framed right. Long arms are not a leverage advantage. Long arms have a lot other advantages. The reach, the height they can generate, and usually the hands. That's all I got. East vs. West 15's coming up where I'm pulling Yoshi. And based on this video, you can kind of guess what I'm going to do. Of course, you kind of guess what I'm going to do anyways, because I don't top roll anybody. My top roll takes like centuries to implement. Okay, kids, get your pay-per-views and buy pay-per-views for somebody else. Call your family. Love you, kids. Bye.